Hi everyone, welcome to Bad Fashion's YouTube channel. My name is Eunice. Thank you for clicking on this video. In today's video, we're going to be learning how to make this cow kaftan with a pleated shoulder. And this kaftan has a lapel and a snatched waistline. It's a trendy bubu and it comes out really beautiful. It screams luxury. So without wasting much of your time, we're going to get right into the tutorial. And here the measurement you need is the length of the boo that you're making. And here in this case, I'm making the length of the person I'm making it for is 64 inches plus my hemming allowance, that's 66 inches. And you need the measurement from the center back to your desired sleeve length, and then you need from shoulder line to your knee line. In this case, these are the measurements you need to achieve this cow kaftan. And here I'm making use of a Duchess fabric, and I have 4 yards of this fabric. I won't be using the 4 in total, the remaining will be for her scarf. So I'm going to use this paper to quickly illustrate to us how to fold over your fabric. So remember I said that I have 4 yards of fabric. So this way is the width of my fabric. Can you see? So I have 1, 2, 3, and then 4 yards. So this is the width of my fabric, and then of course this is now the length of my fabric. This is the savage here and this is the savage here. So to achieve this style, first I'm going to fold savage widthwise. So I'm going to fold it into two like this. So and remember I said that the length of the fabric this way is 60 inches. So when I fold into two, I'm going to have 30 inches. So now I have the width of my fabric. So I want to fold over to achieve the length of the fabric. I folded this way. So now what this means is that I now have 66 inches in two places, which is a total of 132 inches. So this will serve as the front and this will serve as the back. So that's exactly what I have done here with my Duchess fabric. So you can see I have my back here and I also have the front here, and this will serve as the shoulder line. And the total length I have here is 66 inches. So you can see this part that is opened. I have my savage here, which serves as the width of the fabric. So the first measurement we're going to enter now is the measurement from her center back to her desired sleeve length. So, and that is 20 inches. So here's my 20 inches, and then I'll go ahead and add 4 inches. I'll be using this 4 inches for my pleats to create the shoulder pleat. So that's 4 inches plus my folding allowance, that's the to fold the sleeve. I'm just going to be adding 1 inch to that measurement. So in total, everything I have here is about 25.5. So I'm going to mark that 25 all the way down and cut out the remaining that I have. So I've cut out my excess fabric and I'll be using it to achieve the placket. So we'll just keep this aside for now. So next we're going to do now is to remember that we already have the from the center back to the desired sleeve length. So next I'm going to be doing now, I will mark the neck width here, and I'm going to be using a neck width of 3.5 inches. And then a neck depth of 1 inch for the back. So I'm just going to bring in my curve this way and draw the neckline. So this is my back neckline. So for the front neckline, I'll be coming down by 7 inches. From the shoulder line here, I'll come down by 7 inches. And on this point, I'm going to mark 1 inch where I have the 7 inches. So I'm just going to connect it this way. Can you see that? So we'll leave that for now. We're going to come back here because this is where we're going to have our placket. So now this is the side where we're going to have our sleeve opening. So I'm going to come down from the shoulder line here. I'm going to have a sleeve opening of 10 inches. You can do 9.5, 10 inches, depending on how big the person is. In this case, let me just use 9.5. So I came down by a sleeve opening of 9.5 here. Then I'll come in by 1 inch from this sleeve opening. So once I do that, I'm going to just create a slanted line like this. This is so that this place has that nice fit and it drops well. So having done that, now place my tape from here and then get the knee line. The knee line of my client is at 40 inches. So I'm going to mark at this 40 inches. So here is my 40 inches. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to create that cowl shape. But I'll be entering her hip measurement plus 3 inches to this point. So, and her hip measurement is 44. So 44 divided by 4, that will give me 11 inches. So plus 3 inches, that will give me 14 inches in all. So now that we have this point, I'm going to go up by 6 inches from this point here, and then I'll begin to draw my cow shape. Let me take this again. From the shoulder line, I went ahead to mark her knee point. From that knee, on that knee point, I entered quarter of her hip measurement plus 3 inches. And then I went up at that point by 6 inches. This is for me to create the cow shape and connect it to this point. So I went up by 6 inches. So at this point now, I'm just going to use my free hand to draw the cowl shape. Can you see? Can you see what I'm doing? I'll just go ahead and draw my cowl shape like this. And then I'll begin to connect it towards this 6 inches mark I have here. And then bring it down to the knee line. Can you see that? So I'll bring it down here to the knee line. So exactly what I have here, which is that 14 inches, I'll take it down to the hem line of this dress. So I'm marking my 14 inches mark here now. You see? Then I'll use my straight ruler to connect the lines. You see? So this is the shape that I have. So you can see our cow shape, how it just goes in and then it connects down to the hemline. So now coming back to the front neckline, remember I marked 1 inch here. So I'm going to mark 1 inch all the way down on the front piece of my fabric. So I'll mark it all the way down to the hem. I'm going to be using a straight ruler to connect it all the way down to the hem. Can you see what I have? So we're done with this part. So now it's time for us to cut it out. So first I'm going to be cutting the back neckline first. So you can see I'm cutting on my 1 inch. So I haven't cut on my back neckline. I'm going to leave this point. Then I'll cut this shape that I have here. This cow shape I have here. Then we'll come back and treat this center front. So can you see that we have cut out our back cow gown? You see what we have now. So now the next thing I want to do now, can you see my front is separated from the back. This is the back and this is the front. So I'll go ahead and cut out this part following this shape that I have here. So I'll start from the hem now, cut out this 1 inch that I have here, that I've marked here. Of my neckline here now. Can you see? So now the front is 1 inch inward as compared to the back. So now I'll bring in the fabric I'll be using for my placket. But first you need the measurement from here. That's now because this placket will run all the way. It's like a shawl placket. So it will run all the way from the back neckline to the floor length in front. So I'm going to be measuring here. Remember that this is on fold, so whatever I get is going to be times 2 because this is on fold for both left and right. So let's measure this. Now this is the back neckline here. I have 4.5. So I'll take it all the way down to the hemline of the gown. This is 60. So 60. I have 60 plus 11.5. That is 71 inches in all because you can see that it's including the back neckline. So I'm looking for 71 inches, 71.5 inches in length. So now this is what I have. Remember that we cut out this side of our fabric. And remember that I cut out 1 inch. What I have here is 1 inch that I cut out. So basically what I am looking for now, I am looking for 2 inches to be able to replace back what I have lost here. Now this is why I'm looking for 2 inches on fold. Remember, I'm going to be using half inch to join it to this part, and then I'll also need half inch from this placket part to join it here. So by the time I join them with half inch, that's at the end of the day I'm going to have my, that's to give me back my 1 inch that I have lost here. So my placket is going to be 2 inches on fold. So now this is what I have here. So you can see that I have that 4 inches in width. So when I fold it over like this, I'm going to have 2 inches. And remember I said that the length we are looking for is 71.5. So 71.5 times 2 is what I should be looking for. That's 73. That's 143. Let's just call it 145. I can always trim out my excess. So I'm going to measure this strip I have and make sure that I have that 145 inches and then 2 inches on fold. So I'll do that and show us. I've cut my fabric I'll be using to create the placket. Remember I said it's going to be 4 inches wide and then on fold is 2 inches. So you can see I've ironed it and I've formed my crease line. So it's on fold. I have a length of about 145 inches. I'll be using this to form my placket. Then I also went ahead to cut belt. Remember that we said we're going to be having a snatched waistline. So I cut this strip of fabric. It was 3 inches wide and then 36 inches long. I went ahead to sew it. Can you see? Wrong side, right side facing right side. I sewed on half each and then I turned it out. So you can see this part is closed. This is what I have. I have 2 of them. So let me show us where we're going to be placing our belt. So from the shoulder line, you can see that our shoulder does not have joining. This dress does not have a shoulder slope. So from the shoulder line here, I'll come down by 16.5, which is the half length of my client. So here is our 16.5. Then from the center here, I'll be placing my tape from the center back. Remember that the front, I've cut out half inch and 1 inch, sorry. So I'll place my tape from here and find where I can find 8 inches. So 8 plus 8, remember that is on fold. 8 plus 8 will give me 16 inches. So this point I have my 16 inches. So the idea is to put the belt around here, just around the rib area. So that is why I measured from here to 8 inches. So from the center back to 8 inches and then from the shoulder to 16.5. So at this point is where I'm going to be fixing my belt. So I'm going to rough and clean this rough part by folding it this way, and then I'll place my belt like this on this side. So I'll be doing the same thing on the other side. So I'll just hold down this point and then flip it over so that I can mark on the other side too, to indicate where the belt will be on the other side of the front, which is here. So now the next thing I want to do now is this. I'm going to take this placket that I have here now, and then I'll measure how deep I want the neckline to be. So from the shoulder here, I'm going to measure 8 inches. So here is my 8 inches at this point. So I'll place my tape from the center back here and measure this distance. to what I have to that 8 inches. So everything I have, including the back neckline, to this 8 inches, I have 13 inches. So this 13 inches now, I'll get the center of my placket by folding it over, folding it into two like this. So once I fold it into two like this, then I'll get my 13 inches because that's the neck depth I'm using, including both front and back. So now I have my 13 inches. So at this point here, I'm going to just mark this point like this and then turn it over to the wrong side because this is the right side now. So I'll turn it over like this, open it like this so that the right side can face right side. You can see I already have my crease line here. So this is the point where I have my 13 inches. So I'm going to mark this point here like this. So I'll take this to my sewing machine and then I'm going to sew from here. Take note that I measured 13 inches from the center up to this point, and then I'm going to sew from here down to where I want the slit of this bubu to start from. So I'm just going to pin this point here. I want the slit to be 20 inches long in front. So I'm going to just sew and stop 20 inches, 22 inches before the hem because my hemming allowance is 2 inches. So I'll stop 22 inches before the end of this placket. So I'm going to do that and come back and show us. I've sewn my placket. Can you see? I left the space where the head will come out from. That's the neckline. You can see I sewed it and I stopped 22 inches before the end of my length. So now this is it. So now the next thing I want to do, I want to show us also is the belt. Remember I said I was going to fold it, so you can see how I neatly tucked it in and I tucked it in also here. So I can just go ahead now and pin my belt. This is the point I'm going to be stitching the belt down. So I'll just pin it like this and then I'll flip to this other side, which is the front, and then I'll pin it also like this. So after pinning our belt, as you can see now, so the next thing we want to do now is to fix the placket. You see? So remember that we already have our neckline. So I'm going to open up the fabric like this. So here is our center back. I'm going to go ahead and notch the center back. You see from here I have my crease line. You can see I've pressed it already and I have my crease line. So this is where my center back is. So I'm going to take this now, the placket, and then also get the midpoint, which is here also. And then I'll go ahead and pin it to the neckline like this. So I'm going to be pinning, of course, every side is the right side of this placket. So I'm going to pin it like this to the neckline. Right side, I'll be pinning it on the right side. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'll pin it this way from center front and from center back all the way down to the hem. Can you see? This is one side now. I'm just going to keep doing that. I've successfully pinned my plackets right side facing right side. Can you see? And this is my center here. This is the midpoint from the center back here. So now to stitch it down, I'm going to stitch from here. I'll start from this center. I'll sew on 1/2 inch from follow the neckline like this. Take it all the way down to the hem of the dress. And then I'll come back to this side and sew from this end also, from this center here also, and then sew all the way down to this end. I'll do that and then top stitch my belt, top stitch the other side, and come back and show us what we have. So I've sewn my placket. So you can see this is the right side. You can see the neck opening. So let me show us the wrong side. Can you see my stitch? and then I also went ahead to weave it. I did this all the way down to the hemline here. So I went ahead to weave it to make it neat. And I've also fixed my belts. Can you see? So these are my belts in the opposite direction. So the next thing we want to do now is to create the pleats on the shoulder. So remember that this is our crease line. This is our shoulder, the center, the shoulder line. So I used the neck width of 3.5 inches. Remember, I've used half inch to sew the placket, so that will now bring me to 4 inches, right? So I'll place my tape from this part here where I have my shoulders, the next seam here. I'll mark, this is 4 inches here. So from that point, I'll come out by the shoulder measurement of my client, which is half of her shoulder measurement. Her shoulder is 16, half of it is 8. So take note of where I'm placing my tape. I'm placing my tape from 4 inches where I have my joining of the placket and the neckline. So here is the shoulder measurement, half of her shoulder measurement. So from this half of her shoulder measurement, I'll measure 4 inches. Remember, we added 4 inches for the pleat. So here is our 4 inches. So I'll get the midpoint of my 4 inches, which will be 2 inches. And then I'm going to create a pleat. Can you see how I'm holding this? I'm bringing it to this point. This is the where I marked the shoulder measurement. I marked 4 inches and then I got the midpoint. So I'll pick this midpoint so that I can pleat this together. I can hold this part together. Can you see that? So I'll pin it like this. So to create this shoulder pleat from this crease line, I'll come down by 2 inches. I don't want it to be too long, just small. So I'm going to come down by 2 inches this way, and then also I'll come this way by 2 inches. So in total, the stitch I'm going to have here will be 4 inches. So I'm going to repeat the same thing for the other side. Then can you see? Just as I've pleated this, I repeated the same thing for this side. So I'm going to take to my sewing machine and just sew on 4 inches, 2 inches this way, 2 inches this way. Just have a straight stitch of 4 inches at this part of the shoulder. Then I'll fold the hem of my sleeve, that's this sleeve area. I'm going to be folding it half inch, and then I'll come back and show us the next thing to do. So I've stitched my pleats, you can see, and then I went ahead to press it. So I pressed it all the way to the waistline. So you can see how the pleat looks here, all the way to the waistline where the belt is, that's the invisible belt is. Can you see? And I repeated the same thing on the other side. You see what I have here too? So everything is coming out nicely. You see? So then I went ahead to hem the sleeve, that's to fold the sleeve opening. You see? So now we'll close up this dress. We're almost done with this dress. What is remaining is for us to shape the sides. So I'm going to place this like this, right side facing right side, for me to sew on the wrong side. Can you see? So you want to make sure that you pin so that it doesn't shift. I'm going to be pinning to maintain my curves. So guys, I pin this part like this. So I haven't pinned this point now. I'm going to now take this to my sewing machine. I'm going to be sewing this way now. Let me show us. And you see this is our sleeve opening here. I'll go up by half of an inch from this point. Can you see that? I went up by half of an inch where my stitch ends here, and then I'm going to start sewing like this all the way. I'm going to follow this stitch, this mark that I have. I'm going to draw it all the way to the hem line. I'll follow it in a curvy manner. So we have already seen what I'm doing. This is what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to sew like this. Can you see shape 7? Can you see that? I'm going to sew this way, then turn this way, all the way down. I'll repeat the same thing for the other side, and then hem the bottom with my hemming allowance, and then show us the final outcome of this dress. So this is what our cowl Bubu looks like. Can you see how the shoulder is? The placket, everything is sitting all nice. You can see the slit. So right now I haven't tied the invisible belt that is inside. So you can see that the bubu is really free. So to tie the invisible belt, all you need to do is to fix your hand through this part, the sleeve opening here. Can you see? I'm holding one side of the belt. So I'll do the same thing to hold the other side of the belt. So once I pick the belt, I'm going to tie it from the inside. That's I'm tying it to the back now. So can you see already it's giving the mannequin that snatched waistline. So you see? So can you see that it now has that nice figure with this tight waist here. This is what we have. So you can see our sleeve opening and the cowl shape is falling really nicely. You see what we have here also. So just arrange your cowl shape. If you want it to drop out, you can do that. If you want it to go inside like this, feel free to style it anyhow you want. So we have come to the end of this tutorial. I hope you learned a thing or two from this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe, and also put on your notification bell so that I get notified once I post a new video. See you in my next video. Bye.